Welcome back to the Ecuador Insider Podcast.
Holy cow.
Jesse, Brandon, pleased to be with you. Thursday, October 30th.
What's up, guys?
Pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here, Brandon.
It is. You're starting a podcast, huh?
Apparently.
All right.
This is maybe the only time I've ever said this. I will say this.
Yeah.
The preamble that comes after we wrap this episode up is good today.
You think so?
Yeah, it was good today. I think it was fun. I think it was good. I think it's worth sticking around to the end and listening to a very esoteric, spiritual, crazy, conspiracy, whatever, debate, chat.
Well, we didn't even debate.
Conversation.
Was it a debate? Was there any debate?
A pleasant dialogue.
It was a dialogue.
It was a very pleasant.
It's a couple of dudes having a beer.
Pleasantly dialoguing.
Having a horchata.
I love how you put the horchata. You're great, bro.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Horchata. Anyways, all right. So, public service announcement.
Please do.
No, actually, let's start here.
Do it.
Like the video.
Yes.
Right now, like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Feeds our ego. That's always a good thing.
Thumbs up.
Comment. We want to hear from you guys. Brandon does a lot of amazing interacting in our comment section. It makes us feel good. I read the comments. I'm sure Carl reads the comments. We appreciate the interactions. It helps the algorithms, perhaps.
Does it?
I don't know either. Probably not. But that's what they tell you to say. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
So I did.
Definitely subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, it doesn't hurt. What does it cost you? A couple of calories? Does it even cost? How many calories?
One.
Move your finger
One.
here. One?
One.
Come on. Please do. Take a breath. You'll probably get the minerals you need from the air as a breatharian, right?
As you hit
Enough.
like.
Dink.
Didn't
Like,
you-
done.
you
You're
lost-
net
you lost
even.
no
You might be
calories.
ahead.
True. Put some good energy out into the world.
Right.
For those that don't know, we do have a real estate company here in Vilcabamba, Living Ecuador, which was founded in January of 2014 in Loja.
Wow.
Many years.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
Over a decade. Still in business
Absurd.
a decade later.
It's pretty ridiculous. Time to quit. But yeah, if you guys are interested in real estate in this area, that is something we do. But also just if you need help, right? Like if you need stuff, if you're interested in Ecuador, if you want help or contacts in Ecuador, we're in a great position to be able to do that. And so I think a lot of people maybe don't even know that we have a real estate company. We always mention the retreats. We do some other things as well. But we do have a real estate company. We would love to help you if you are interested in this part of the world. We have a great team and a great system, and we are really well equipped to be able to serve you and help you with anything you're trying to do here in Ecuador. And so just encourage anyone that needs it to reach out, info@abecuador.com.
Yeah. And there's plenty of realtors in town. It's a small town, but just like anywhere, there's competition, there's realtors, there's other real estate agents, there's mom and pops and individuals and whatever. Mm-hmm. We think we're the best. Like, I don't know how else to put it. We think we're the best. Our reviews will back that up. So check out our reviews, go to our Google Maps, check out our reviews on Abundant Living Real Estate Company. We've got more 5-star reviews than all the other real estate agents in town combined. Like, I don't want to humble brag, but I'm just straight up bragging instead. It's 5-star, like they look for yourself, read the comments. It's gone on for years. We do our best. We serve people. We're proud to be the bridge to Vilcabamba, to help people, like-minded people, experience a new way to live, a new way to do life. We're proud to be the bridge to Vilcabamba. But it's the community, it's the tiendas, it's the shop owners, it's the nature, it's the energy here that's the magic that keeps people here. So check out the reviews, check out We Travel, check out the retreat reviews. Like, it speaks for itself, man. And it's not only that. Like, you've said you started the business in 2014. It's over a decade. We have more exclusive listings with Ecuadorian sellers than anybody in the region, right? That says something. Like, just look at the data. Give us a chance. We'd love to help you out. We will do our best to serve you and make sure that we're treating you like we would want to be treated should we be moving our lives here. And that's the feedback we get. So
100%.
definitely check it out.
I mean, just so people understand, we don't run the real estate company with the objective, with essentially with financial objectives. We run the real estate company for other reasons, for other purposes. We have a staff. We really like them to be well taken care of. We really like to serve people. We really care about this community, and so we do play. The real estate company acts as sort of has a critical role to play in terms of connecting people to here and here to people and all that kind of stuff. So we have our reasons that we do it. Where was I going with that? I forget. I had a good point. I don't remember.
I don't either.
It's okay.
But definitely check out the reviews. Give us a call. We're happy to help. There's haters everywhere. There's haters in life. That's how you know you're doing something right. And I'm proud of that, man.
So if you are thinking about Ecuador as a potential relocation destination, January 24th is our next Vilcabamba lifestyle retreat. We'd love to have you here.
Come on down.
Again, I just want to talk, one of the things about the retreat and it connects, of course, to the real estate company, but just helping people in general. Because one of our goals here is to share this part of the world and what's here and what's available with people who might be looking for that, right? Because, again, it affects people's lives positively in a very rewarding and very beautiful way. And that's really one of the things, that really is the thing that I'm always left with in terms of the retreats. As time goes by, we've been doing these for a number of years now. As time goes by and you watch people sort of run that cycle, look, it doesn't work for everyone, and everyone's different and all that. But the vast majority, you watch people run that cycle, and you see the pain and the suffering and the sort of stress and anxiety and all these things just lift off of people, both on the retreat, which happens every time, almost every participant every time goes through that. But then when you see the people move here, when you see them okay, they came to the retreat, had an amazing experience, it was everything they thought it would be, blah, blah, blah. You see them lighter and brighter and, their eyes, a different sparkle in their eyes and all that kind of stuff. And then you see them go through the process, and then you see them around town. And look, everyone goes through their stuff, and we all have our ups and downs and all that. It's not, this is not a miracle pill or something. It's just a place to live. But it is very different, and it has a lot of positive attributes. And then you see the people, and you just see the light and the joy and the spark, and just as they are enjoying their life here, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And so, I definitely, the retreat is it's well worth it.
Yeah, I was just talking to Bernice. She's coming to the January retreat. And just before the pod, I was on the phone with her. And I was explaining to her how, for me, I went through a phase in my life when, I was, before I moved here, I was working at General Mills.
Yep.
And I got to the point where I was so ashamed of where I worked.
Yeah.
Because I was working on I worked with great people. I worked on some projects that weren't bad, for humans. But there was just, the more you learn about, commercially processed food and how lobbying works and what's food grade and what's food acceptable. And when you learn about that and you see, and you have a health conscious mind, then I couldn't continue I got to the point where I couldn't keep looking at my kids and be like, no, you can't eat that. Why can't I eat the stuff your company makes? You can't eat that, you can't eat that, you can't eat. And I got to the point where I wasn't proud of where I worked anymore.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell them. And the point I'm bringing it up is because now, for me, the retreats, for the things you described, I'm proud of that. I'm proud. Yeah. My kids see it. I'm proud that they see that because they're involved. Our kids are involved in the retreats. We don't, so they see that and they see what people come in like. And again, it's not for everybody. It's probably not for most people, but the people that it's for, it's life-changing. It's game-changing. It changes perspective. It changes perception. It can change everything in a great way. And to see some of that tangibly in the 9-day retreat and then over time when they move here, dude, it's awesome.
That part is amazing.
Dude, I'm proud of that, right? I'm proud that we're the bridge to that. We're the bridge to this place.
Lastly, and I'm going to have to dial this in on future episodes. This is way too long of pitching stuff at the beginning.
It's not. It's the truth, man. That's how I feel.
Of course,
I
it's
don't
the
care.
truth. I don't know how interesting it is to people. Of course, it's the truth. Lastly, before we move on to talking about space aliens, we also offer relocation services. So for anybody who's moving to Ecuador who wants help, we have a very comprehensive service, very hands-on. We leverage, again, our 12 plus years of business here to assist you in all of the processes of both planning, execution, and then getting set up in Ecuador. So please reach out again, info@aveecuador.com. All right, I got through it.
Good job.
Hey, you want to know something funny, Brandon, from last show? So the title was Ecuador Insider, Aliens, Flat Earth Conspiracies, Expat Life in Ecuador. And then it has YouTube put a note below the video. It says, Flat Earth, and it's from Wikipedia. And it says, Flat Earth is an archaic and scientifically disproven conception of the Earth's shape as a plane or disk. Many ancient cultures subscribe to a flat Earth cosmography. The model has undergone a recent resurgence as a conspiracy theory in the 21st century. So I just want to thank YouTube for the public service announcement. Just in case anybody would have been subject to any misinformation, they now are not. And just just talking about the community a little bit, because really at the end of the day, like that's what this is all about. Just in terms of life, right? Just in terms of life. If you're going to live somewhere, if you're going to make a choice to live in a particular location, hopefully you're doing that consciously and with conscious and active reasons why, right, and all that. So if you're going to live here, there are some absolutely amazing sort of built-in attributes to this place in terms of the nature and the weather and the mountains and the rivers and streams and all that kind of stuff. And then there's also the incredible attributes of the culture and prices and food quality and air quality and water quality and all those things. And that's all amazing. But if you had all that stuff and the community sucked, like I don't know that many people. I don't know that I'd want to live there. Like I don't know that many people would want to live there. At the end of the day, like what makes this place special, in addition to those things that I'm mentioning, is the community. And I was just kind of I'm in all these silly Telegram groups that I basically ignore, that are just constantly all day long. Basically, people in the community are sharing there's all kinds of other stuff too, but sharing events that are happening, things that are going on. And I am so blown away by the energy of the quantity, like the width and depth both, of how many just like people that have good hearts and want to do good and want to like help and want to just have good experience. The amount of just events, just cool stuff that people are organizing and getting together and doing, and classes they're offering, and it's overwhelming. Like it's beautiful. Like, it's really beautiful. And it's the community at the end of the day.
We've got a video we're putting out here soon of the library in town, right? And I've been to many different towns in Ecuador. I haven't seen another library in a rural town anywhere. So they're not common for sure, because I've never seen another one. We have one here. And it's cool. It's like a legit library. You get a library card. You can check out books. They have events. They have classes. They have classes for Ecuadorians to learn English. Yep. They hold other. You can rent space. But to your point, the beautiful thing is, and you'll see in the video, the board and the people involved in the library, it's all volunteer-based. They're doing it. They're donating the bookshelves and the books and their time, and they're running it and the rent and the electricity and the space. And they're doing it all because they care about the community and they care about what it provides to the community. Yep. And again, it's not a common thing. I literally have not seen another library in any other rural town I've ever been to. Anywhere. Have you? No. I mean,
no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's probably one in Loja.
Yeah, I'm sure. But actually, I don't even know that.
I mean,
I haven't seen one. There might be.
Yeah, but regardless, that's like a perfect example to me of what the community is doing, of things like illustrating things like that. Like it's totally a community-based event from the heart that people are spending their own time and money to provide this for the community. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So check that video out when it comes out.
I ran into
open books, open minds. I think that's their motto.
I ran into that's cool. I ran into Jen and Terry the other day, some retreat participants from a while back who have recently moved here.
Yeah, they're building.
After having to get prepared for maybe a couple years or a year or two.
No, it was a little over a year ago.
Yeah. And just to, they're a great example of just like they look so happy.
Yeah.
And, Terry's sitting there, and I saw he made a Facebook post of like, his 30-cent glass bottle Coca-Cola, and they're just there's a lot, there's stuff I don't want to share because it's personal, but there's it's so beautiful to see like the level of stress. The first time I ever interacted with them, which might have been virtually, to now, it's just different people, people, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. All right, that's all I got. Let's wrap it up.
That's it, huh? Well, I mean, what else do we want to talk about? I mean, do you have a Paro update? Paro?
I don't know. I heard that it's over. Is it over? I don't know, dude. You don't ask me. Don't put me on the spot.
Ask Fernando.
¿Cómo vamos con el paro?
Ya terminó.
Ya terminó.
It is finished.
Yes.
Okay, Paro's over. Good job.
All right.
We nailed it.
See, and that's I've seen some posts and some things about again, I wasn't at any of these areas, but some of it looked kind of tragic, actually.
Yeah, there's some really
there's
sad
some
reports.
Nasty stuff that I saw.
Yeah.
So that's brutal. So definitely my heart goes out to those folks and those people that had to deal with that type of violence, if where that was in Otavalo and some other places.
Yeah.
That said, I wouldn't even have known that the Paro was happening here. Like, I wouldn't have known, unless I was on social media, I wouldn't have known. It didn't affect anything day to day here. Did it affect anything for you?
No, not at all. I'm curious, Fernando, o sea, entonces, ¿cómo salió? ¿Ganó algo el movimiento? O
Nadie
cómo?
ganó nada, prácticamente solo desistieron.
Ya. Entonces, más o menos el gobierno ganaron.
Más o menos, solo
Okay.
estaba pendiente la consulta popular.
Van a hacer sobre el subsidiario.
En general, pero también va un poco del subsidio.
¿O no?
Un
Subsidio,
poco del
perdón.
subsidio, pero va un poco más contra los asambleístas, que hay demasiados asambleístas y no hacen nada. Un poco contra esta parte del uso de, si quieren usar las armas que recaudan de las personas que están en bandas, porque son armas prácticamente que ni siquiera la policía a veces tiene.
Claro.
Sobre las condenas también ser más duros con algunas personas que hacen delitos muy graves y también más o menos eso, no me acuerdo todas las preguntas.
Yeah.
Lo que leí.
Claro.
Okay. All right. So basically, there doesn't sound like there was much won
Right.
in the Paro, and they're doing a consulta popular, a referendum, referendum for a number of questions. Which, I don't know. I'm not studying this stuff, so I'm not the right person to talk about this right now.
We can research the referendums for next pod, what the questions are, and talk about them, and we did that before. What you think, they'll vote on, what they actually mean for the people, what they're proposed to mean,
Right.
reading between the lines and all that. So we'll look into that.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, it sounds like that's positive in a way.
Yeah.
At least
We didn't have any crazy fires last dry season.
Right, and rainy season
Back to
is
rainy
here.
season.
Yeah, it's rained. It rained yesterday, the day before.
It's been raining. It's been
Good
lovely.
chunk. Yeah,
Is it
it's
green
nice.
yet? Ish.
It's greening up.
Getting there.
It's greening up, yeah. It's greening up for sure. You can always tell because once it's really full on, we'll have to have the path cut for Quinn to go through. Like, you can see through now here, but when it's really there, man, like, you got to cut it back so he can get to practice over the river and through the woods,
So our kids went to what was it? It's a natural plant. It's a plant identification, medicinal plant identification, foraging class today.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
it is pretty cool.
So it's good. It's good for people. Like, let's describe this. So
This became a school for
my 17-year-old, your 14-year-old.
She'll be 15 in January.
And your 8-year-old, 9-year-old. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
They keep moving. That's the problem.
Right.
The years change.
Yep.
Your 9-year-old left in a taxi or walking or
Taxi.
In a taxi, and headed over to where?
Wherever the foraging class was, I don't know.
All right, it was a great story.
I was going to go, actually.
Yeah, no, it would have been cool.
I had to call with Bernice, and then we were doing the pod, so I didn't go, but I would have gone. Because I think they had something like this a couple months ago, and I couldn't make it work either.
Yeah,
But I'd like to do it myself as well. But yeah, they were excited.
Yeah, they've run those classes. It's one of the examples, right? Like that foraging class run by that lady Dahlia. She does that all the time. I've seen her advertise that probably 10 times or something.
Yeah, and the cool thing with this one, she was doing it as a charity event. She was raising money. She was raising money for someone else that was sick.
Yeah.
So she was doing it, and that's people do that. People donate stuff all the time, but it's just cool that, like it's like that.
Yeah, I mean, what percentage of people that donate stuff globally, like, actually goes to anything good? Right.
And here it's everything.
Here it's literally 100% of it,
Yeah.
No, that whole communal aspect, I'm always explaining, I'm always in conversations with, Ecuador people, locals always ask you, if you don't know them or you're getting to know them, once they're comfortable with you, like, they'll always start to ask questions like, why do you like Ecuador? Why did you why do you live here? Like, why are you here, basically? Like, why did you move here? Are you going to stay?
Right. We had a perfect example. The guy, what was it? We were at Vilca Garden last couple weeks ago, and we were sitting outside, and guy, I forget his name now. Jorge.
The guy from Chicago.
He was from Chicago, but he was staking us
out.
out.
From Chicago,
but he was from Loja, moved to Chicago 40 years ago or 30 years ago, and he watches the channel, and he came back to visit family, and he came to Vilcabamba purposely, came to the office looking for us. He wanted to find us. He wanted to talk to you and talk to, and take a picture and thank you for doing it. I can't wait, I can't wait till I retire to come back and live here again now that I've had the experience. But then the reason I brought that up is because he asked those questions, like, why did you choose here? Why?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why are you staying here?
Well, and because, for a lot of them, it's sort of dumbfounding because their whole life, the paradigm was like, go to the States and make money was like what was put, right? Or go to Spain or so they look at the U.S. from movies and from whatever connection they have to the U.S. as where everyone the best and where everyone wants to be. And so they're for them, it's a little bit like, you move from there to here, why? And anyway, so I'm always having, I'm often in those kinds of conversations, and what I like to explain a lot to people is just how broken our culture is, and the difference between how people act and are here, and the culture and the society here versus the culture and society that we come from, and just how for many for people who are gonna like it here, it's just so much better, and so those reasons are really, and it's just it's always, I don't know, it's just always interesting to me to try to almost give a little insight to them in terms of you guys have something special here. You should appreciate your own culture because it's like the fishbowl thing. When we're in the U.S., we don't know other cultures. Right. We think that's, you just assume that's kind of what, it's normal. It's just normal. Whereas the culture here, that is so communally minded and so family oriented and so helpful and so human centric and so just helping. It's about people and all that stuff. It's just normal. It's just normal. And I don't think that they necessarily understand that in the U.S.,
everywhere, right,
we don't have any of that. Yeah. Not any, there's, but essentially, we don't really have any of that.
People don't shop. You don't shop for community there. You choose where you live primarily on, one, what you can afford, but based on the school district or the aesthetic of the house, the functionality of the house. You're buying a house in a school district in your price range. That's really what you're doing. And then once you do that, half the people don't just wave at their neighbor if they have to.
Right, or have very superficial interactions.
Right. Well, that's what I mean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like their community is not necessarily that.
Right.
You know, not geographically where they live.
Right.
And and then that becomes, you know, their Facebook community. You know, that's where
Right.
where their life is.
Right.
Or their friends or family is geographically spread throughout different places, and
Yeah.
you know, then they're, you know, doing that. But there's no like community, like physical community. And here, everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows their neighbors. Everybody knows their kids, their parents, and like there's actual physical community, and there's real, not just superficial conversations.
Yeah.
And there's pluses and minuses to all of that.
Big time.
You know?
Yeah.
Like going into town to go run and do a 10-minute run to town could take you 2 hours sometimes.
Yeah. And another negative, there's no privacy.
Right.
Nothing's personal.
Yeah.
Which I actually love at this point because there's accountability in that.
Yeah, there's a ton of accountability.
Yeah, which I really like.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are proud of their family name, and you know that they, you know, people ask all the time, well, what do you let your kids get in a taxi? You're gonna like, you do that? Like, yeah, well, I know their family, I know their parents, I know their kids, I know their grandparents.
No, it's so safe. And the level of safety too is quite amazing. Quite amazing.
Could they do something bad?
I mean, I literally, my 6 and 4-year-old walk around. I'd say, okay, they're going from here, you know, 7 blocks over there. The 6-year-old's in charge.
Right.
You know, and there's not an iota of concern I have for, other than just like if they do something stupid. But I'm not worried at all about, you know, something happening to them from another person.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I was talking to this girl last night, and you know, she has kids, and she lives in this house with her kids. And then you know, her sister lives in the house next door, and then her parents live in the house next door to that, and then her grandparents live in the house below that, and then her aunts and uncles live in the house below that.
Yeah.
And like, so you know, she's like a single mom, but she gets to live the life of not a single mom because she has built-in childcare in like 10 places within 50 feet of her house.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I would kill for that.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Like that's how like the Aguansakas and our friends over in Los
Right.
Wilcos, they have, it's aunts and uncles and grandparents, 2 sets of grandparents and grandkids and great-grand, you know, like all within, there's probably 17 or 18 within this structure of homes, rooms and stuff, and it's like that, right? Diego's
and
a
they
single
all take
dad.
care of one another.
And they take care of each other, and he's got help. Like, you know, it was pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So Tiff got a message yesterday from the Aguansakas and said, hey, Saturday at the zoo, it's a family day for us, our whole family. We have a pig. We have roasted a pig. We're spending the whole day as a family at the zoo, and you guys are our family, and you know we want you to come. I'm like,
It's beautiful.
yeah,
It's
dude,
awesome.
it's pretty awesome. Like, you're our family.
They're great people.
Yeah, like you have to come. Basically, like you have to come. Like this is a family day. You're our family. We'll see you there. Like it wasn't like, can you make it? It's like, well, you're going to be there. You know, which is awesome though. Like it's
100%.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. No, that stuff I don't think can be under or over stated. You know, the importance, the difference, and the benefits of just living in a place where that's how the people operate. You know, where they operate from a mentality of sort of acceptance and sort of joy, even I would say to some degree, and just like community. Just you know, we all just kind of in this together, and we're taking care of one another. And look, again, there are underbellies for sure. Like gossip is an underbelly, for example, is a negative aspect of the society here. Invidia, envy is like a thing in Latin America that's stronger than the cultures we come from. You know, there's downsides for sure, and you know, but overall, wow, like just the level of heart and the level of, you know, caring that you're living in. You can't help but let that, you know, have that affect you positively.
Right.
Again, if you can open up to it, and some people don't. I've definitely seen folks that, even at times, I've definitely done this. Like, I've definitely seen folks that have carried, their baggage to the point where they're distrustful and they're not able to sort of get past their own programming and conditioning about how they view the world to sort of allow this the way these people are here, which is different, let that in and sort of be part of that and appreciate the beauty of it. There's definitely, it's like not everyone's going to see that or experience that based on how they, based on what they're capable of participating in or allowing in or whatever. But it's here. I mean, it is what the community is here. So,
yeah. And to that point, man, are people going to get stuff stolen or whatever? Like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, but I just know I've left my wallet in a taxi with several $100s in credit and debit cards for hours and hours and got it back with everything in it, hours later. Tiff's left a brand new iPhone at a papeleria. 5 hours later, we realize, call, they answer, yeah, your phone's here, we put it behind the counter, we're waiting for you to come back,
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But my point is, I mean, even as a kid, I shouldn't even tell this story, but it's true. As a kid, I was probably like 12 or 13. I was in like a public bathroom and somebody left their wallet in the stall, like on top of the toilet paper, and I took the money out and left the wallet. I did that. I did that shit. Like,
I've done crap like that as a kid.
Right?
Yeah.
And but I didn't even
Not
turn
proud
the
of
wallet
it.
in. Right. No, exactly my point. But you come here with the perception in the Hollywood and whatever your perception of the third world or the fifth world, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna bring that to life. Whatever you want, right? You're gonna be distrustful and guess what? You're gonna get the shady guys coming all around,
Yeah, that's how it works. Like, that's how it works.
Shady guys are everywhere. It's not like there's not that
Yeah.
here. It's like this utopia of everybody's just so honest and loving. There's way more of that than anywhere else I've lived. But it's not like there's not guys that are out to like take advantage of somebody don't exist in the culture.
Of course. And also, I mean, again, I think we should continue to make the point. Like, we're talking about Vilcabamba and this region.
Not all of Ecuador.
The culture universally in Ecuador is not the same everywhere.
Right.
Like, there is something about this province, Loja, Lojanos, in this area that's different. Not that there aren't other areas also just like that, as there absolutely are in Ecuador. But yeah, we're talking about here. I mean, there's a whole. It's very interesting. I like this point you bring up. There's a whole undercurrent of gringos in Ecuador, Vilcabamba on the coast, Cuenca, elsewhere. There's a whole undercurrent of gringos in Ecuador who, if you listen to them talk, you'd think this place was like terrible and the people were terrible and the culture's terrible. It's mind-blowing, and it's so them and not, it's so not true. It's them attracting those experiences into their life by their beliefs and by how they roll.
Act.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so, like I'll hear people who say things like, they're all thieves and you can't trust them.
Yeah.
And what else? Like stuff like that. I mean, more. I don't know why I can't think of it right now, but several other things in that vein. And it's like I'm thinking like, are you talking about the same people that I like?
Right.
Like, I've lived here for 12 years. Like what? Like
Right.
these are the most loving, kind, honest people you'll ever meet. Now, of course, are there cultural nuances within that? Like, do I even understand in some cases why people interpret things into some false beliefs or understandings about the culture here? Absolutely, because people are not very communicative. People have a very subtle way of going about maneuvering in society here that if you don't understand, you're going to misinterpret and misunderstand the meaning of their words and actions, which is going to then could cause you to distrust them or to have some bad vibes or some bad blood between you, particularly if you have not followed custom norms, societal, customary, whatever. If you have not followed some of that stuff and you've sort of created that dynamic where now they're kind of stepping back and looking at
awkward,
you funny.
And now they're like, wait a second, I don't trust you now. Like,
Right.
why are you so weird?
Right.
Why are you so...
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
so then not only then do you start attracting the underbelly, but you also, the doors close. And again, I've said things like this 1,000 times, but your leverage, your leverage in Ecuador, like your key to a good life in Ecuador, your capital in Ecuador, are your relationships. And so if those doors are closed, the like social doors in the sense of you don't have that network because you haven't opened up to that and allowed those relationships to develop, then the magic of this place doesn't exist. And like I wouldn't stay here probably in that situation, because what's so amazing about this place is that it's like you can, or one of the things, right, is like you can, through people, accomplish everything, and you're known by your reputation, by your interactions, by your friends, socially, you're known here. Like, that's what I mean. Like, there's no privacy. Like, you are known.
Right.
Period. Yeah. Everyone, like even people you've never met, they've talked to lots of people about you, and when you're shaking their hand for the first time, they know probably where you live, they probably know what you do, and they probably have heard quite a few things about you. And that's why a lot of times you'll see, I've noticed over the years, and again, like I hope this doesn't sound egotistical or anything, but I've shaken a lot of people's hands where they kind of light up and they kind of like are giving me an extra sort of like, like the, and then I realize later, I'm like, like who they're, oh, okay, like they've heard this about me, or they've heard that, or whatever it is. And so it's like, that's your capital here. Like that's what you have, that's your leverage. That's the thing that is going to protect you. It's going to keep, if anyone wants to mess with you, but you're known as a good person in the culture, you're not getting messed with. Right. If you have a problem that you need resolved, if the people are behind you, if the people know you're a good person, if the people know you're not going to lie, if the people know you're you're going to tell the truth and you're a stand-up guy, that problem is going to get resolved in your favor always.
Right.
So yeah.
And that's just to clarify, I think it's good because we clarify, how we talk about culture, and we mean, we're talking about Vilcabamba, where we live in this region, Loja, not all of Ecuador. And also, I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're talking about culture and relationships, you're talking about the local Ecuadorian culture, not the
exclusively.
Gringo. Exclusively, right. Yeah. So people conflate that. I think they misunderstand that.
No, the gringo culture here in many ways is terrible.
Kind of.
In many ways, it's terrible. It's like, it's a mix of like a lot of stuff, and some of it's good, but like overall, if I had to describe the gringo culture, it's like okay. It's not, and there's a lot of it that's a little ugly.
Yeah, and it's not a huge portion of the. I mean, again, let's take a step back even further. Vilcabamba is small. I mean, it's 5,000 people, 7,000 people. That's it. It's tiny.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little place. So if you're from a small town anywhere in the world watching this, you're going to have some kind of familiarity with just relative to the size of the place. So some of the, no privacy, gossip, that's going to be familiar to you from a small town anywhere earth,
Yeah.
So that exists. The difference here, I think, is that you have 15%, I don't even know, 20%, 15%, 10%,
yeah,
of the culture, or of the inhabitants that live here are from a different culture, or from a different place in the world, from Europe, from Canada, from the US, from Asia. And that is like a subculture to the culture I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now there's crossover, and there's kind of intermingling, and it's not the entire immigrant, extranjero, gringo culture integrated. It's not that at all, right? Like the things that I was talking about, like that is like the closest I am to integrating. Like, but that's that's not most people, I would say, that are
No.
gringos don't do that kind of stuff. They don't live like
at all.
that. So there is a little bit separation, and then there's still that baggage we're bringing here as individuals that's kind of creating this, what you described. Perspective, yeah. Like, so that's hard. Like, so, I don't know. I'm not doing a great job of distinguishing, but I want to, as you distinguished, we're not talking about all of Ecuador. We're not talking about every place in Ecuador. We're talking about culture here, but we're also talking about not the gringo culture, exclusively and maybe exclusively.
Yeah,
in some
no,
cases.
absolutely. Like I think what the foreigners bring to this valley that's really valuable. Like I do think foreigners play a valuable role in this town. And the vast majority of the locals feel that way. When I say vast majority, I mean like 95% or more. There's not a substantial here undercurrent at all of resentment towards gringos. Like I would argue, there's basically none. I've heard other people say like, oh, they hate us, but like I think that's just literally invented by them. But so the role that foreigners play here that's really valuable, I think, is they bring a lot to the economy, and they bring a lot of know-how on certain things, and they bring a lot of energy that they want to give to this place. Mm-hmm. So like all those classes I'm talking about, that's mostly all foreigners that are doing, all these amazing sort of community classes and
bird
things.
watching classes and foraging classes.
I mean, literally endless.
Yeah.
It's like 100. I mean, it's like too much. This town should be 10 times bigger to have that amount of offerings.
Right. And restaurants.
And restaurants, exactly, yeah. So I think overall foreigners do play a very positive role here. I think they've really economically really helped because a lot of the local economy benefits very directly and substantially from the foreign money that's here. Mm-hmm. And even though there is an undercurrent of gringos that I don't think act perfectly, it's not. It's very small. In general, that's very small. The most of the foreigners here, whether they can or not, want to contribute, want to be part of things, blah, 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 blah. So, I think foreigners play a great role, but overall, in terms of the cultural stuff, society stuff, yeah, I'm not talking about the foreigners at all. That's just the locals. Like, that's just the local culture. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. That's it. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Bye.
Let's do it. Doors open. Well, hey, guys, if you made it this far, you know what you got to do. Make a new appointment. Horse therapy, next session. You're due. You're long overdue because, man. And if you stick around for the preamble, man, book yourself a double session because you're going to need it after today. But we appreciate you sticking around. Give us a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Click the link in the description. Come check us out. Check out the retreat, January 24th. We'd love to see you down here one day.
So until then,
we'll see you next time,
take
guys.
care, everyone. Be well.
Ciao.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Taking this quick break to remind you, we run Vilcabamba lifestyle retreats. If you're interested in checking out this area, hanging out with us, getting all the information you could possibly want, and having a great time, check out the links below. Thanks so much. Back to the program. Got people that are fantastic.
I've been weaning them off, and then it's been like, now I'm like, all right. Because they're way slower, way less detail-oriented, way less everything.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, all right, we've gone down to every other week, and now I'm going to be like, all right, you've got this many hours, and these are the things you need to do in this many hours, or like, that's it, But it's like
I've got people that are absolutely fucking amazing, but their prices are insane. Like
what?
Like, they came through someone. I didn't ask what they charge because everyone charges the same. Like, it's not, it's gonna be like $25 a day or $3 an hour or whatever, right? So maybe $3.50 an hour if it's like really expensive, Yeah. And they came with 3 ladies and they rocked it. Charged me $6 an hour per person.
Wow.
Charged me like literally like double like the standard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're good,
dude, they're good. Like I couldn't believe how they went to work. The three of them, they were like, rah.
yeah, if they're good and they're regular, maybe I could get them. I mean, whatever, $6 an hour.
Yeah, and they live in like Malacatos, and I know why they charge so much. It's because a lot of their work is in San Joaquin,
Yeah.
and that's also why they're good, because all those like very picky, type A's out in San Joaquin.
That is correct, sir. Dude, you're not watching the World Series, huh?
I mean, I've caught some innings here and there for sure.
See Savage last night?
I mean, I saw the score, and I watched an hour of the game. Yeah, it was boring. It was like when I turned it on, it was maybe 3-0 or 3-1, and it was like 5 something.
Savage is dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Dude, he came up at the end of the year, like
last year, this year.
No, this year.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like an epic story for him. Like this.
Oh really? Oh, dude, he's a rookie who just pitched a gem in the.
Dude, but he's pitched awesome.
In the World
Series.
Through
the playoffs, like an epic story.
Yeah.
For this guy, for this kid, like in the biggest moments, like coming through, like you can't imagine against the juggernaut. Like the true David and Goliath story. The Toronto Blue Jays.
I know that's cool too. Yeah. What is their payroll?
Yeah, it's not. It can't be much.
Is it like a middle of the pack, or is it upper third or lower third?
Let's find out. And it's cool because, they got 3 players their dads played when we were watching baseball.
Right, Vladdy, Bichette,
and
Varsho.
Varsho.
And who's the other one?
Dalton Varsho's dad played. He was like not a superstar.
Varsho.
What's his name?
I think I have a Varsho. White dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have some recollection of that. Was he a Cub or no? Varsho, his dad?
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't remember.
That's absurd, dude. That is absurd. That the guys we grew up watching, their kids are playing in the league.
Right.
Like Vladdy was not even. I wasn't even that young when Vladdy was a stud.
I know.
I mean, of course, he probably had him when he was like 16.
Right. Oh, the Blue Jays have a fifth highest payroll.
I mean, yeah, because Vladdy's paid. Vladdy, right? He just got paid.
Yeah.
But huge, right? Like
so the Dodgers
half $1 billion or something.
I think Dodgers are $350 million. Mets are next. Yankees are third. Phillies are fourth, and Blue Jays are fifth at like 240 or 250 million. So still 100 million behind the Dodgers, which is insane. That's the discrepancy from first to fifth. $100 million payroll. Annual payroll. A third.
Yeah, and your average MLB player is probably making what, $3 million or something.
Oh, yeah, I don't even
or
know.
median, probably not. Average is a bad. I had a phone call last night with this couple from Canada who are in Salinas,
Okay.
and they're headed here. They're like, dude, these are like the coolest people I've talked to like the last people I talked to that, I don't know if we're recording, I probably shouldn't say this. There was another couple I talked to who came to one of our retreats who I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
When I talked to them, that was the last one that like held a candle to this call last night. They're like just the most joyful, sweet energy, but like down to earth and using cuss words and like cool,
Right.
and like high vibe, joyful, like good energy, like open, like happy.
Why Salinas?
Well, I think they kind of wanted to do like what I did initially, and what like a lot of us intend to do, and like you did and didn't do, and like they just kind of wanted to like tour the country type thing.
Oh, they're not living.
So
They're just
no,
traveling through
they're
Salinas.
just checking out Ecuador.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I think they were gonna check out the coast, but then they didn't really leave Salinas, and then yeah, I don't know, whatever. But
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
they'll be here next week.
Nice. That is. I also had a call with a cool woman. Cool woman in. I think she's in Asheville. My aunt and uncle live, but she will be joining us on the retreat. She's been watching since before I was on the pod, and very nice things to say about you.
Before 1973, huh?
Oh, good one.
She had nice things to say about me. I could use that.
Yeah.
All these haters, bro.
It's haters everywhere, man. It's part of life. It's part of life.
I've come to find that out. I always would hear people talking about that. You know, I never knew what they were talking about, really.
Yeah.
I kind of did, but didn't really.
Yeah.
But it's because, like, yeah, you have to, like, I think to have haters, and I've heard people say stuff like this too, it's like to have haters, you have to actually, like, at least do something.
Yeah, and have an opinion.
Yeah.
It's heard somewhere.
Right, yeah, right.
You know,
yeah.
and
Yeah. But yeah, it's, wow.
have conviction, have confidence.
What a
have
phenomenon,
hope.
bro. What a phenomenon.
It is. It is a thing, man. That's the weird. That's the hard piece, like, is to separate what's. And I know your answer's gonna be, well, that's because there's no separation. But separating the physical from the spiritual. Like.
No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. No, you're right. This has been a hard lesson I've been learning the last few years. Yeah. Yeah. It's the marriage of the 3D and like the fucking unseen, and you can't like ignore either one.
Right.
And,
well,
yeah.
or maybe not. Definitely not ignore either one. However, I think you can choose your battles more. I don't know, strategically, tactfully, based on the spirituality. You know, like the spiritual war that's going on versus the fear. You know, I think all the physical war stuff, physical battles, they're all just microcosms of themselves. They're just all a different version, different flavor of the same.
Yeah.
Politics, sports,
Yeah.
economy, you know, whatever, whatever the borders, the chemicals in the air, the Illuminati, they're all like, it's just always, you know, you can choose to battle that, or you can have, you know, you can use the spiritual war to help you decide what battles are worth or not worth fighting.
Well, so could not possibly agree more. And what does it mean to battle?
Well, right.
Because that's the other thing, like, that's the other thing that you hear people, I've heard people for many years who are more spiritually inclined, who are in that world of, you know, energy and spirituality and blah, 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 you know, talking about how they maneuver energetically in the unseen realms in order to affect, you know, their life, whatever their reality is, whatever's going on in the 3D. And I had an experience here just recently where this friend of mine who's very apt in that world, very trained in that world, works in that world, you know, that's her work in life is, you know, spiritual work, energy work, and, you know, she done all kinds of training and works through the Magdalene stream and blah, blah, blah. But, she did this thing about this situation that I was experiencing where she, you know, stuff that years ago I would have been like, oh my God, like, you know, it's so foo-foo, like, get out of here, right? but I don't feel that way anymore. But that doesn't mean I necessarily know how to like do any of that. You know, it doesn't mean but it made me like I took a step of opening in it just because I'm like experiencing this thing. I share it. She then like does this thing, and it was nothing. Like I don't even know what she did. She just like told me like, all right, I'm putting this around you and this thing and da 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 da, and like the next day it resolved. And I was like, and part of it too, which is not goes hand in hand. That then this is something I've been playing with, you know, for years. But you know, it's like your energy in the situation. You have so much control. Because if your energy is such that you don't need the lesson, it goes away. It goes away. Even so, the other, like if it's two, you know, if it's a situation where there's two people, and one is acting horribly and doing terrible things and causing problems and causing angst, and you can resolve in that in yourself, so that there's nothing there. There's nothing like in you, then that thing can resolve on its own, even though like it didn't change, you did. But its behavior totally changed just because your energy was such that was like, it just kind of like went, you know? Like,
Totally, man, like for me, the biggest one of those was like going down conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
that's
a great example. Yeah.
Right. So for me, like going into that, when I first had that like worldview fracture, you know, right after September 11th, and my unit's overseas, and I'm getting handwritten letters, and they weren't like, hey, this is what's different than. It wasn't like that, like, hey, all this crazy shit is happening that's not really on the news. It was just like, hey,
Sorry.
What's that?
No, nothing. Yeah.
It was just they were writing me letters of this is what we're doing. Not even like, hey, why are we doing that? They weren't even questioning. They weren't even like, it wasn't like that. And then I'm reading this stuff and like, wait a second. They're not even talking about any of this on the news. They're not talking about even this area. They're not talking about. So it just got me, those letters got me thinking. And then a couple more, and then I'm, you know, the news story is going on, and then I'm realizing, holy cow, there's way more to this story than they're telling anybody. So then I start writing, you know, asking questions back, and that's when it really kind of first opened up. I'm like, holy shit, this isn't what it appears to be, right? And then from that point on, because I trusted I know the letters that I got that I still have. I should read those. I wonder if I could find. I bet you they're in my storage unit.
That's awesome.
But I know they were telling the truth. Like I knew that was the truth.
Yeah.
Right. I knew they weren't just making up. They're writing me like other men
course.
writing
I mean,
me
no,
letters.
I mean, there's no
you
one.
know, like, you know, like, right? It's kind of weird, right?
Dear Brandon.
Right.
Been thinking a lot about you lately. As I was eating my breakfast this morning.
I was eating my MRE. Put some peanut butter on a saltine and got a
Then I took a bite. It was delicious.
Right. But I knew that was the truth, and I knew that was the first time I'm like, wow, they're lying. Somebody's lying. Why are they lying? And that set me down the path. And then then it was like research, books, everything I could find into like what is behind this. And I've read books on Operation Gladio and all the other things throughout history and the Samson Op and all this stuff that you learn about, that you can learn about because it's there. It's just it wasn't popular at the time.
Right.
So for me personally, that, you know, kind of worldview fracture like sent me down this path, and it's a deep, dark rabbit hole.
Certainly is.
Very deep, very dark, maybe endless. I don't know if it ever ends. I didn't find the end of it. I got to the point where I'm at now, which I think it illustrates your point, right? Where I was so deep, so dark, into so many things that conspiracy, I was living it and breathing it, and it was consuming me, and I didn't realize it was consuming my soul, trying to fight the bad guys and defend against the bad guys and the real bad guys on this reality. You know, the physical bad guys and all these things. It's fruitless. Like, there's no point.
No, it's a trap.
It's a trap,
endless, yeah.
and it's not even the real. It's not even, you know, I don't believe
It's
those are
not
even the
head
real
of the,
bad guys.
It's not the head of the snake.
Right. It's not the serpent. Right. Right. It's definitely not. It's definitely
I wish
not.
I had meant that, but
Yeah. And so yeah, then you realize I'm doing all these crazy things that I'm living in a different state of fear. I know the truth.
Right.
That doesn't even, which I don't even know if it's the truth, but I think it is. And I'm living in this whole different state of fear, and I'm making decisions, and I'm treating other people in that way. Like, how do you not do this? How do you do this? How do you continue?
Judging.
Dude,
Yeah.
like, so crazy.
Yeah.
Then it gets to the point where you keep going, and you find, at least for me, I have a different faith. I have a different hope. I have a different spiritual belief that's not the war, right? That's not the, like, that doesn't matter. Like, you know, it really doesn't. It does in a sense, like, okay, yeah, I don't want them spraying chemicals in the sky. I don't want them poisoning our food. I don't want them, you know, mind controlling us, you know, or electromagnetic
Yep.
stuff. I
Yep.
don't want, but the reality is, that is all happening, whether I want it to happen, whether I hate them to have it, whether I fight them on it or not.
Yep.
And what's the fight? What is fighting them on that going to do?
Absolutely. Well, it will add to it, actually, is
Right.
what it'll do. It'll make it more powerful.
Won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, specifically.
Right.
And, yeah.
So that's where for me, I got to the point where I don't have to do that. It's a little like where my judge is now a higher power, you know, like where I don't believe that I have to fight that fight anymore.
No.
Here for that.
No.
I don't
It's a trap.
want to. And I have a different level of stress. I have a different level of peace. I have a different level of everything not doing that. But that doesn't mean I can't. I still feel charged to expose darkness, but I don't have to fight it.
No,
anymore.
well, there's
Do you know what I
value.
mean?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
There's truth is a powerful weapon. There's value in that. That's kind of what the whole awakening idea is, right?
What?
Just people getting closer to truth or God.
Well, I think that could be a trap too. But yes, I think that's a step for some
Well, I don't.
people.
Yeah, I don't mean like the truth. I just mean like when you expose something for what it is, that is universally healthy and healing. That is like part of the awakening process. So that is, in my view, by definition, like positive. Versus attacking something,
Yeah.
which can do some exposing, but it creates the reaction, and often just feeds into the overall problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I meant more is an awakening of to what end, because I think, you know, for me personally, and I think we disagree on this.
Yeah.
I don't believe that I evolve, transcend to God. I don't believe.
What do you mean to God?
I don't believe that I am God.
You think I believe I'm God?
No, like that we are all God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But we may or may not disagree on that. It would be fun for me to like define what I think of that to see if we disagree or not.
Yeah.
But
I know a lot of people think, you know, when we talk to folks that are deep into the awakening, you know, path, mindset, narrative, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, belief system, that is the end for them, is that I am God. Like I am God incarnate. I don't personally believe that. So like that's all I meant. Yeah. Anyway, we don't have to talk about it.
I like that topic. I actually this is one, but I actually before we do that, because what I wanted to say earlier, it'll get lost, but I want to get back to the God thing, but
Fernando, yeah.
But yeah. So I'll share with you.
Do you want some human blood?
Some adrenochrome.
Extra adrenochrome. Extra adrenochrome. It's aged.
All the rumors are true. I told you.
Ooh, that's a young one. What? This is such a terrible joke. Like totally, truly terrible joke. Anyway.
Yeah, so do you remember platinum's $1,600, gold is $4,000. I remember when platinum got popular when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Platinum was more than gold.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, "Whoa, platinum."
Right. Well, I think isn't it more rare? Is it?
No, I have no idea.
I remember reading that just supply demand, but who knows if that's even true? Right. Who the hell even knows what's in the ground or what's not?
Yeah, totally. And how much of it is renewable-ish?
Right.
Like it's like
right.
Like the whole idea of like all this finite. There's some
Well, fossil fuels.
That's a whole thing.
Right. That's an interesting. That's a rabbit hole.
I've looked at
right?
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's a rabbit hole.
I was convinced.
Really?
Personally, yeah.
Right.
I don't think there's any possibility that fossil fuels are actually from fossils.
Like dinosaur bones?
Yeah, like no possibility.
Right. Did dinosaurs even exist?
That's another one, which I have no idea about. I have looked at that one too, but that one is less, for me, that one's more of a unknown. But
interesting.
But, no, so, yeah, you were saying about fighting the negative forces versus not, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Well, relative to spiritually versus physically here.
And that's an important distinction.
And then separating whether spiritual, where is the dimensional crossover into what you're actually fighting physically.
Right, yep, mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyway.
So I want to share this with you. Yeah. So like, here's where I got to on that stuff. Right? So if something is showing up in my reality, and if I'm having a reaction to it, like if it's A, in my reality, and B, generating a reaction in me, it's doing its job to point out an unhealed aspect of myself. Period. End of story.
Okay.
So I've come to like really appreciate the role of the dark side, the role of demons, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like demons play a very important role, man. I like really truly like they play a very important role. They say, oh, here's the role of the demon. Okay, human being, beautiful, like multi-dimensional, unlimited capacity human being. Where's your weaknesses? Where's the weaknesses in the energetic field? Where's the thoughts that have created this weakness? Where's the trauma that's created this weakness? Where's the weakness where's the weakness? Where's the opening? Where can I get in? There's the opening. Yeah. So like what does that do for you as the being? Well, how would you get that weakness or that hole in your game, like that unhealed aspect of yourself? How would you get that pointed out to you otherwise? You wouldn't. You need that. Mm-hmm. They're there for a reason. They're showing you, here's where you need to heal. Here's the thing that's unhealed. Here's the part of yourself you haven't looked at. Here's the thing that you're still stuck in this thing. So I'm using demons, but you can use this for anything. So why are the chemtrails in the air? Why am I up against this terrible decision where I have to either get jabbed or lose my job, or like whatever we want to use, whatever aspect of darkness we want to use. When you're feeling threatened, it's pointing out to you in that feeling, whatever that feeling of is, that's an error in your thinking. That's an error in where you're at in your consciousness, that you think this thing can actually threaten you, which it can't. You're this incredibly powerful being of light that is just here for an instant, you know, and we're getting all wrapped up in like, oh my God, you know, like we're gonna die. Well,
right.
yeah, no shit, we're gonna die. We're all gonna die, like,
Yeah.
right? So it's not about defeating them, and to your point, it's not about defeating. You don't defeat that. You make it irrelevant by being healed enough that it no longer affects you and sort of leaves your reality.
Right.
And people are offended by that a lot of times. How can it leave my reality? Look, it's right there. But that's just because they don't realize it does. Mm-hmm. As you progress and you check the lesson, okay, this piece I got, this lesson I got, that thing that was bothering you so much before you checked that box sort of either eases or dissolves or just goes away, whatever it is. So yeah, man, I've come to, like, that's where I've come to on that stuff, is like, not fighting it. I kind of appreciate it. I'm like, ooh, what am I going to learn about myself now that I'm triggered, or now that I'm offended, or now that I'm angry, or now that I'm judging something, or now I'm angry about something. Yeah. It's like, okay, awesome. It sucks, it hurts, you don't enjoy the process. But when you're through it, you've shed another layer, and you've just learned another aspect about yourself, and you've become more powerful, and that danger, that perceived threat is gone away because you've moved through that process, and you're on to the next one. Yeah. But, so yeah, I've come to really appreciate the dark side in that way. Yeah. Like, they play an important role.
Yeah, and I actually appreciate the pain. I'm a sicko sometimes with that way.
I've been working to train myself to appreciate it, because it's important. You have to. The pain is where the growth is. The pain is where the gold is. Right. So you don't want to fight it. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm going through this again. You know, you want to, you might as well enjoy it for the value that's in it, because you have to go through it anyway.
Right, and that's where, for me, that's why I do stuff, in the physical, because I think the physical can train the mental, and the mental can train the physical. I think they're symbiotic, right, in that way. So that's why I do stuff like I did with the back tattoo, right?
The pain part of it.
Well, right, yeah. It's
like training. It's like training.
You're supposed to do 6 sessions over months. Yeah. 2 weeks apart. Yeah. 4-hour sessions. No, I want back-to-back days, as long as it takes. 12-hour days, and I'm gonna suck it up and be crazy and barely push myself to not be able to tolerate it anymore. I was at the point at the end where I couldn't. In my head, I was to the point where I was almost ready to throw the white flag and say, I gotta stop today. And just when I was about ready to, it's like, we're done.
The test was over.
Holy cow, right? But those train the mental side too, because the mental, because it's
essentially the same thing.
Yeah. Right. Well, just and I relate it back to playing sports, when you're in the zone. Yeah. And I remember being able to get in the zone, consciously in the zone, swimming more than any other sport. Consciously in the zone.
I want to know.
Dude, I remember all right, there was a few times I was a good swimmer. I wasn't some world's best swimmer. I was a good swimmer, and there was a couple of my buddies that were older, a couple years old. They were junior or senior. I don't remember. They were senior, and they were football players. They played all the sports I didn't play: football and baseball.
The good sports.
The good sports, and maybe basketball too. But I didn't. I played basketball, just not in high school. But they're like the super jocks, right? Yeah. Coolest guys in school, blah blah blah. And I remember they were going to come to the swim meet, and I remember wanting so bad to perform well, right? Yep. And I remember getting in psyching myself, I got to do this. And I watched the video after. My stroke was off. I still did okay. Wasn't anywhere near my best. Yep. And everything was off. And I remember in the moment, I was just it was awkward. My stroke, everything was off. And then I remember after that thinking like, how did that, like, this is the one I wanted to show off and I couldn't, like, why, right? And then I don't know. And then I was thinking, I was in my head in practice, like thinking, and then I got to this point where, you know, when you're in the zone, you're not thinking anymore.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
And that happened to me
in the moment,
as I was trying to think through that in practice. And we're swimming a mile swim to warm up. You're swimming for hours.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, you know, you're doing the warm up. You're not sprinting.
I can't even conceive of swimming a mile.
So you're doing stuff like that. So you're like, you have a lot of time to think. And I remember I got into the zone in practice where I wasn't tired. I wasn't dreading anything. I'm like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
So then I was able to do that. And if I had my best races of my life is where I got into a very quick, and I was a sprinter. I was doing.
Do you recall how you did it?
No, I just I don't know, maybe it's a form of meditation. I don't even know exactly.
Okay, so you just kind of found the click over, but you can't like define how.
I can't explain how. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, but my point is that in that zone, right? That's the zone where I got into, where pain doesn't matter. Like, and I had I went in and out of that in the tattoo, where I was in the zone, and all of a sudden it was like a couple hours were gone, and I wasn't even uncomfortable. And then it wasn't until I started thinking about, you know, like out of the zone. That's where, you know, right? So yeah, I don't know what that means, but like there's a way to do that. People do that, you know, like all the time. That's how people, you know, fast for long periods of time. That, you know.
It's the bending of reality through the mind, type of thing.
Yeah. And I think just to go ahead. No, just to go back to the demon. You know, you know, the yin yang concept of demons. There's demonologists and exorcists like that do this for a living, and they explain how like in Hollywood or in music, like it's not uncommon anymore to, like, people can go find this. You can go find interviews with demonologists that people think is a made-up word, and exorcists that actually work with people that have had demon attachments, but and they explain how it works, and it's essentially what you said, but it's almost to another level where the demons can control you, because then you get mind controlled.
Big time.
Right? So
yeah.
So and it starts with
how many of our thoughts are ours is a great question to ask yourself.
Right, and it starts with the traumas. The more
That's
trauma
right.
you
That's
have,
exactly right.
the more extreme trauma. That's why these guys will explain, why do you think, you know, once, you know, it's not a secret that these guys will say, I signed my soul to the devil, right? Not in a figurative way.
No.
No,
it's not figurative.
Right? They're saying, no, like, I really did. And then the devil gets in. And then once you sign the deal with the devil, what happens first? They have to create a almost unbreakable trauma, unresolvable trauma. And what is that, right? Why are many of these celebrities and artists and rappers and singers, why do they have a controversial, very close family death? Because Kanye talks about it, like, I sacrificed my mom. Because think about the trauma, because it's not, this is a conscious decision. You signed your soul to the devil. We're going to give you everything you want in this world, what you think you want anyway. And in order to get that, you have to make one of these, the most traumatic sacrifices of your life. Yeah. A daughter, a son,
you have to basically do a demonic act. Like, you have to become demonic.
Right.
Yeah.
So that opens the door for that demon to, like,
take control.
Latch on, control, and then they explain, when they explain how that process works, and then the 3D handlers that run this space and this reality in those you know, worlds of industries, I would say, those are the ones that are performing the the 3D mind control on them because they know they're possessed. They're not helping. Their handlers aren't helping them resolve their traumas. Their handlers are keeping them in chains,
they're
right?
part of the whole thing.
So that's a crazy one to go down. Like if people, it sounds crazy for me to say it, but you can go listen to people and listen to the artists themselves talk about it.
Over and over and over again.
Right.
Yeah. And going all the way back. I remember watching the one on Bob Dylan, where he's in 60 Minutes interview, and he asks him, like, I don't remember exactly, but he asks him, like, so, what do you make of your career? Like, how'd you get your, how'd you, something about that.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I made a deal.
Yeah.
And I've kept up my end of the bargain since then, and so has he.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, you made a deal with who?
Yeah.
And he's like, he says it.
Right.
He says it. Like,
And he also in one of those interviews, he explains, because they ask him, like, why haven't you put any hits out? Why haven't you written any, mega hits? And he's like,
it's not up to me.
I can't. I can't. He's like, listen, like I don't even, he says it in his old, I don't even know where those songs came from.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that happened. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't, like, that's what it is.
Yeah, and this is like, so it's like so now we've gone over into like that world where it's like, I've already crossed that point for me at this point in my life where I don't want to keep going in what we're talking about right now, just because it starts to bring in that darkness. I feel for me right now.
Right.
Like, so it's like, because I went through the same thing that you described earlier, like when I like had my awakening or whatever, and I like, I started to do insane amounts of research and I started to figure everything out, but that was coupled with me also having like a major spiritual awakening and a major like health revolution. It was like I learned everything. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, wait, there's all these things, and I start cleaning and taking this and taking that, and I'm like, energy's pulsing through my body, and I'm learning everything, and I'm like seeing all the, so it was a very beautiful time until it went on too long, and I went too far into the just learning about darkness, which I had to do as part of my process, but then I realized at some point it's a trap. Yeah. It's a trap. But and there's a lot of places we could go here, but I want to go back to a second for that God thing that you were talking about earlier.
Okay.
So, and I don't know whether we agree or disagree, but I just want to define my position on that.
Sure.
So I would my understanding is that, or my perspective, I should say, there's a difference between the God, like God,
Big G God.
Big G God.
Okay.
And I even hesitate to use this word, but like God's kind of like so. For example, here's what I mean. So I think in the Bible it says something like made in His image and likeness. Mm-hmm. You can translate that into we are a fractal of God.
Okay.
Right? Or we have got the spark of God in us, because made in His likeness and image, made by Him. Mm-hmm. If you're a believer in the Bible and you want to interpret that, it's kind of saying we're God. Now, not God, not like overarching God. So for me, I don't believe I'm God in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe anyone is God in any way, shape, or form. God is God, and that's a very hard thing to define, and we can spend the rest of our lives talking about it and whatever. But I personally believe that there is a creator, there is a source energy, there is a God, there is a, like in, that something that that's, but that we have that spark, that we are a fractal, we are like a node, we are like a point of consciousness in that creation.
Right. Made in the image
and
of God.
so therefore, in our world, not in the whole world, not in like not like I don't have the power to like create, to like, I'm not God, like, it's not me with a chessboard being like, you go Heather and forage, like I'm not that God, but
does the God have that?
It's too much of a tangent. We can talk about that in a second if you want, but But of course, within my world, of course I have those the same capacities to control of that God has to control over his reality that I have over mine. So within my what sphere of influence, I'm God, not God, but just like I get to control. I can control my thoughts. I can control my creations. I can control what I do and don't. I get to control all of that. I can. Doesn't mean I do or will. That's a separate thing. I have the capacity to. So, yeah. So I didn't say that perfectly how I wanted to say it, but that's where I come down on that. So it's not like I don't. The idea that we're all gods for me is also like, like let's slow down. That's a little. Yeah. Can bring in the ego, and it can sort of get like sacrilegious, like sort of, like you're just kind of like, like, and that's total nonsense. But it is also true that the more we evolve and the more we unravel and the more we see through and the more the veils come down, the more we become more godlike in the sense of like, I can just move this energy around and this thing manifests. I can go do this inner process and then that changes all of this over here. That's. I don't know.
I mean, if you're going to talk about the Bible, this is like the fallen world. This isn't God's world.
Yeah.
So this isn't God's kingdom. This is the fallen, right? This is.
But it still would, everything's within God's kingdom.
But.
Nothing's outside of God, right?
Sure, but this is like the fallen world. This is the demonic world that Satan's running, right? Yeah. This is Satan's world. This is actually Satan's world.
Yeah, inside of God's world.
Inside of God's world. Sure. Yeah. But God gives free will, right? God gives free will, right? So I don't know, right? I don't know if I believe that. I think in this, like, in Satan's world, Satan has control, and so many things are inversions. Again, you hear the greatest lie, trick the devil ever pulled is making people believe he doesn't exist, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Because then you believe that Satan doesn't exist, then guess what? You inherently also believe that God doesn't exist.
Right, in the world of duality, right?
Right. Well,
which
that's
we're
what
in,
we're
which
talking
we're in,
about,
which
right?
we're in,
That's
which
exactly what we're talking about. Darkness, light, yin, yang, all of that, right?
No, it's a good point. Yeah.
So that's the point. It's to trick people that truly God doesn't exist, so that now this is my world. I control everything. God doesn't exist. You have no commandments. You have no morals. You have no do the thing. There's no penalty. Drink the blood. Drink it all. Like, go for it, right? Right. And then it's inverted.
Do as thou will.
Right. And it's inverted, right? Because you can listen to some Zionists, some Satan. They'll invert it and say, Yahweh is Lucifer. God is
the bringer of light.
They'll flip it back and forth to confuse people, right? Mm-hmm. And then they'll quote, you can, if you look at the Bible and you look at some things literally, right? Anytime that there's reference of an angel, like an angel in this realm, in the fallen world, in the devil's world, what do they say? What is the first thing they say? And I don't know how many times, but it's more than once. Yeah. One of the first things they say when they show themselves to a human in the fallen world, what do they say?
I have no idea.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Well, what does that tell you? As a reader, inherently, they must look like demons. They must be scary as hell. Don't be afraid. If it's just some angelic looking, like Hollywood angel with a halo and wings and floating in.
The sheer power of the being could be.
Don't be afraid. I don't know, man. It's a fallen world. This isn't God's world. This is Satan's world. What is an angel going to look like? What is a fallen angel going to look like? A fallen angel here.
I need to help your wife momentarily.
You need to do what?
I'm listening. I need to help your wife momentarily.
Okay.
It's all right. Okay.
Time out.
Your wife let me off the hook.
Oh, all right.
I made her blush, though.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's like if this is a fallen world, things are inverted. What does an angel look like? What does a demon look like? What is
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and what's
do
the
they look?
difference? And, yeah.
What's the difference? Do they look the opposite of what you think they would look like?
Right.
Right? You know?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I have opinions on all that, but it's endless. Yeah.
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 Oh, it is, but it's at the end of the day, for me though, is like if you default to the spirituality, to your beliefs on that level, then be convicted and go. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
just do it.
Run
right?
the race, baby. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it, man.
Yeah.
Live.
100%.
Live. Be present. Be happy.
Right. And it's okay if you're wrong.
And it's
Because
100%
then you learn.
okay.
You know, it's great. It's great.
100% okay. If you spend too much time going down the conspiratorial rabbit holes in more than, if it's just to expose and whatever, but if you live there and you live there with the intention of fighting that in this reality, I believe that's a mistake. I think that's going to really turn out like a very troubling existence, man.
100%.
And I don't say that.
I mean,
theory.
observation. Right.
Right.
That's where I was going to go.
I mean, I'm a perfect example of being in that at one point in my life.
Yeah, I did too.
And I see a lot of people that do that now. And that's what's concerning to me about the time we're in now, because I do believe like there are way more people waking up to this reality, right? However, they're waking up to things that, you know, where they're at in the process is 20, 30 years behind. And this happens generationally. People woke up in Vietnam. People woke up in other things throughout history, in recent history, right? Recent American history anyway. But we're having because of social media, and we're having this mass, like, holy cow, people are talking about September 11th, stuff that I've known, I read in books that I still have from 2002. They're just hearing for the first time. Or the first time consciously accepting it and being like, oh, right? This is messed up. Like, holy crap, right? Right? So they're there, right?
Wait a minute.
Right. And now because of that, they're more awake and they're more susceptible or more open to considering these other things like chemtrails and food chemicals and blah blah blah, all the gamut that we've gone down. So they haven't gone through that dark phase. Like I don't think you can avoid that.
You can't.
Right. So the reason I say that is because it's still, I believe, in this reality, we're in the fallen world, in the duality, whatever you want to call it. As the light rises, so does the dark. It's just back and forth. So yes, we're getting way more people waking up to the light, and you're getting way more people that are waking up that are going to go down this conspiratorial rabbit hole and live there.
And that's okay. It's part of the process.
No, it is okay.
Yeah. No, and I know you're not saying anything different, but so there's the reason in my world that that's okay, or a reason that that's okay, is because the people that went first, which you know, so I was the 2012 window, you were the 2001 window. Other people were 2000. Other people were 1984. Other people were, you know, Vietnam, like whatever, right? Like there's windows. The 60s, there was one in the 60s. Like there's windows, right? So, and different degrees, and the energies are different on each time, and there's like, right? So for the folks for people who like went through some of these processes previously and have gone through the dark part of that, come out the other side, gained the understanding and wisdom and evolution and blah, blah, blah. That's like, so their job is to hold that in place.
Yeah.
And so then the next wave, like it's okay because these people are holding frequency here. So you can now do that, and it's all right. It kind of goes like that. So it's...
Well, right, but then because you have that advanced, more evolved, whatever you want to say, more processed group holding the light, you have an equal amount of those same people holding the dark.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't believe... So I think... Okay, so this gets complicated, actually. But I don't believe... Okay, so there is... This is going to sound crazy, very crazy to a lot of people, but I think there is a 3D aspect of Earth called Earth. that's the Earth school, right? It's the duality Earth school. It's like, all right, you forget who you are, you forget where you come from, you forget everything. You go the veil of ignorance, and you just wake up in this body, and here you are on Earth, and the Earth has rules, but you don't know what they are, and you have free will, and you're gonna go through the process of understanding what it means to make choices in free will, and then to experience the result of the choices that you make. Right? That's essentially what Earth is. It's like a training program to understand choice and free will, and to experience that. And it's going back to something we were talking about earlier. It's very much like make it, take it basketball. Whatever path you choose, whatever path you choose, builds on itself. It's exponentially. So it's like when you do open that up and you get the demon coming in, and the demon starts to, and then you make more bad choices, and your health gets worse, and your mental side, everything gets worse, and then more of it comes in. It's like make it, take it basketball. It's like when you get on that bad momentum either way, or a good momentum, like when you get, like whatever choice you've made, those things start to, and so you dig a bigger and bigger hole. It gets harder and harder and harder to pull yourself out. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Like, you are responsible. You have to make the choice. Even though I'm living in hell and I want to die, and I feel so miserable, I'm going to make the choice to pull myself out of that. Like one thought at a time, one action at a time, one whatever at a time, right? And so, getting back to it. So there is that aspect of Earth that has that training program, that has that. But part of that program also is moving past that. You finish the lesson, like you finish that lesson, like you do it enough times or however it works. You get to the point where you're like, okay, I get it. I get how this all works. I get who I am. I understand who I am. I understand where I come from. I understand my power. I understand the strength of my actions and words and energies and choices, and I understand I can't get away from anything I've done. Like there's nothing I can hide from. There's nothing I can, and you eventually, you finish that. And so when you hear people talking about ascension, or the Bible and talking about in the Book of Revelations and the New Earth and all that kind of stuff, in all the different ways people talk about this. But when you hear about, that's what's being referred to. It's that training program being over and moving on to a different Earth. Whether that's Gaia version of Earth, or whether that's...
Is that David Wilcox guy?
There's another one even above that. I forget the name of it.
Isn't he the Gaia guy?
Did he originally? I don't know. I think he's a crackpot, but...
Yeah, he's a clown.
Yeah. But anyway.
He's like super popular, isn't he? Or he used to be.
Yeah, at one point he was. Like him and Benjamin Fulford. I think those guys are nuts. But so I agree. The light and dark balance in the 3D duality training program, I kind of agree with where you're going with that, where it's like it's always balanced, so it's going to go if it does that, right? But as a species, we're also, in my opinion, doing this out of that paradigm. So it's not that like it doesn't matter how much, because it's always gonna also do the dissension as well. It's not that, because it is that in the original training program, but it's not that like for humanity right now. It is a process of at least for those that are choosing, it's a process of completion of that paradigm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's just geographic. It's just based on geography, man. Where the balance happens. It doesn't have to. It's not like every geographical location is perfectly balanced. Like I don't in that way. So I think you'll have pockets of that what you're describing, and you're going to have equivalent pockets, other geographies that balance it out. I think that's where the balance happens, not in and of it.
Again, I think that's we could. I agree. I agree with that.
And I don't think it actually matters. And I don't.
Right.
And I'm not even convinced. I'm not convinced that it has been this linear progression, ascension of humanity.
It hasn't. I agree.
But in any way.
It's cyclical.
And I don't even know if we're in an upward trend. Mm-hmm. To be honest.
Yeah, I
think we might. If you made me guess, I might guess that we're on a downward trend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with that, but you could easily make a very strong argument for that, for what you're saying. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I kind of don't think any of that matters.
It doesn't.
Right.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because you can only control yourself.
Yeah.
So it makes no difference at all.
And even that's hard.
Very, but it's the only game in town.
Yeah, it is the only game.
It's the only game in town.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, anybody that has kids will understand that, right?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Ecuador Insider Podcast.
Oh.
Hey guys, we're here in Vilcabamba with the Abundant Living team. To learn more about our next retreat, click the link in the description down below. From
our family to yours, welcome to Vilcabamba.